I am live. Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year to the folks who I haven't wished a Happy New Year to. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Davon Reeves. I'm based out of Atlanta, Georgia, and I come to you live on the 5th and 28th of each month. So we have what you call Beyond the Front Desk. So why is it 5th and 28th Beyond the Front Desk? So make sure you follow me, make sure you subscribe, Davon Reeves. And why it's called Beyond the Front Desk. So I got my start actually at the front desk at the Hyatt Regency Atlanta. And I've navigated my way from operations into hotel ownership. And now I'm in tech. I'm a founder. I have a crowdfunding platform called Vestor, where you can invest in commercial real estate, including hotels. So we connect the deal sponsors to the investors. And I just want to talk about what I'm building and why it matters. So let me know where you're coming in from the chat. I want to keep this as engaging as possible. And so, as I mentioned before, I come to you on the 5th and 28th of each month. Sometimes it would just be me, but sometimes I'm going to spice it up a little bit and I'm going to bring in some special guests and we're going to talk about a lot of things this year. So, I'm going to talk from wealth building to mindset to estate planning to building wealth, retaining wealth, getting wealth, building wealth. And so that's why I'm building, and that's why it matters. For the longest, I didn't know a lot of these things were possible as far as getting into commercial real estate, hotel ownership, or tech. And so that's what I'm building. I'm building it to make it more accessible for everyday people to invest in commercial real estate, specifically hotels. So I have a book called How to Buy a Hotel. You can find it on Amazon. Definitely, I'll put the link in the comments. And so that book is the second edition. And so with that book, we talk about, how to use AI. We talk about how to work with consultants. I have a case study in there. I acquired 2 hotels in 2020 when we sold them last year, generated a profit, talked about that as well. So a lot of that is in the book, right? So break it down. I think this one is better than my first book. My first book was great, but the second book to me is so much better because I put in a lot of stories from people who I mentored and worked with along the way, right? So a lot of people who were getting into hotel ownership and never thought about it, didn't have any experience in it, didn't really have a pathway. So helped a lot of folks get into that space, right? And so that's what I'm building. And I've been meeting a lot of people who want to get into hotel investing or get into hotel ownership, and they're not quite there yet. And it's okay, right? Because I want you to do it and I want you to do it right. So definitely listen. Um, when I mean listen, working with your consultants and working with experts. I mean, a lot of people, and they're like, oh my gosh, I can do it. I can figure it out. And then they'll call me. They're like, oh my gosh, Davon, okay, I need your help. And I'm like, it's too late. You should have mentioned something before. When I told you, I knew this was going to happen. And so a lot of that book also covers some mistakes to avoid, finding the right management company. That is so huge, right? When you're buying a hotel, and which we'll talk about that, right? So for the 5th and 28th of each month, like I said, we're bringing different people to talk about ways that you can build wealth and create wealth. So now, enough about that. Let's talk about what I'm building. So let's talk about Vestor. So Vestor.com is a crowdfunding platform that I created. There we go, Vestor.com. And where we connect deal sponsors to investors. So there are several commercial asset classes that have been fully funded On there, we have some that are live now. And so where you can do your due diligence, where you can see pitches, and you can determine if you want to invest or not in those opportunities. And so that's what I'm building, right? There are real estate opportunities, specifically commercial real estates, where you can invest in with as little as 5,000, right? And when I got started off with raising capital or getting the hotel ownership, there was not a minimum of $5,000. I couldn't find it. And so I wanted to make it a space where people can get in this, can build their wealth and just get their feet wet. And so that's why I created Vestor.com, right? And so what I'm building and why it matters, because creating first-time hotel owners and investors, or commercial real estate investors and owners, their first time getting into this space, right? That's what I'm building and that's what I'm creating. And so why does it matter? It matters for people who look like me. It matters to generations to come. It matters because there need to be more women in this space, women who don't even look like me, right? It needs to meet so many different other races and cultures in this space. And so that's why it matters. And that's what I'm building. And it doesn't even, and you don't even have to look like me. You could come from a certain background and you didn't know it was possible. And so we have it here, right? And that's what I'm building. And that's what I'm working with on the 5th and 28th. Coming to you live, sometimes live, but bringing you guests and bringing you experts in their field to help you along your journey. Some from mindset. I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of them, it's a mindset issue. So I want you to ask you these questions. I want you to ask yourself this question. What's holding you back? Is it your fear? Is it money? Is it your circle? Because my mindset started to change once my circle changed, but I wanted to change my mindset. Some people don't want to change their mindset. I want y'all to, and it's okay. You have that every right to, but I just choose not to be with people who want to live in a space of negativity, live in a space where they don't want to expand their mind and grow and get uncomfortable. Because sometimes in order to make a change, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to do the impossible. And that's what I've been doing. I've been the first in so many different things. And it has become very uncomfortable because I didn't know I didn't have anybody to somewhat guide me, right? I had to create my own thing. And it's beautiful to see how so many people are creating their own communities that are similar, right? Oh, wait, we have a comment. It says, knowledge and fear has been holding you back. Oh my gosh. I thank you for being so transparent, right? Obtaining that knowledge, especially today in today's age. I'm glad you brought that up because is it Miss Whitley? Okay. Thank you for that. I'm glad that you brought that up because there's so much knowledge going around that it could be overwhelming. So I actually had an inner circle strategy call today. So I have I don't call it a mastermind, but it's more of a community, my inner circle. And we work together. We have calls, we go on trips. And one of the calls earlier today, she was overwhelmed with the knowledge. It was so much knowledge. And she was actually doing so many things right. She was doing so many things right, but she was fearful of doing certain things because she was on knowledge overload and she needed a pathway to get there, right? And so I love the fact that she was ready to be like, okay, you know what? I'm trying to do this, but I don't know. And I'm overwhelmed. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you for being transparent because a lot of times people get the analysis paralysis and they're just spinning and they never make a move, right? So that comes with fear, right? Because you're waiting for everything to be perfect. You're waiting for the plan to be, and it's never going to be. It's not going to happen. Sometimes it don't ever work out how you want it to go. It'd be completely different, right? And because it works out, even though if it doesn't work out how you want it to go, it works out how it's supposed to go. So that knowledge part. So for my people who have the reason why they're not getting to where they want because of the lack of knowledge, I suggest that you seek it, right? Don't get overwhelmed where you go everywhere and you're like squirrel, doop, 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 doop. Find like one or two people that is in line with what you're trying to do as far as your ultimate goal. Like a lot of times people, they're like, oh my gosh, I want to buy a hotel, Davon, you're starting to buy a hotel. I'm like, well, for one, hotels are really expensive. So let's start with what you have now. And it's like only thing they can afford to acquire is probably an investment property like residential or maybe a small multifamily, which is fine because it's building blocks to get there. But that's start where you are, right? So that knowledge, getting that knowledge to help you get to where you want to be is a big goal, right? It's something that can help you get to your dreams. And getting in different rooms is knowledge there. It's knowledge on YouTube, of course. I'm here on YouTube. It's knowledge on social media. Now it's knowledge through chat. You just need to know the prompt to tell you. But there's so much knowledge. But find one or two people and also join a like-minded organization or community that can help you in getting into those rooms. Because really, I didn't really become a hotel owner until I started being around other hotel owners. Because think about the knowledge and access that you have, right? So I answered the knowledge one. The next thing is fear. Fear is huge. Me, I'm a big risk taker. People call me fearless. I have no idea where I got this from because my grandmother definitely was not fearless. I think my mom kind of fearless. I think she was a little bit. Yeah, I think she was. So maybe I get a little bit from her now. I'm thinking about it. But I'm definitely probably the most fearless and probably the biggest risk taker in my family. I'm just like, I'll figure it out later. I'm one of those, I'll jump off the cliff without, I'm like, oops, did I pack my parachute? Whoops, that's not me, right? But overcoming that fear, it's hard, but it's also a control thing. Because a lot of times fear is what you can't control. So that's where the fear creeps in. I can't control this, so I'm afraid of what's going to happen. And so what helps me get over fear, for those who, may not be religious, but I am, I believe in God, is when I have fear in me, I start talking to God and start seeking God and what he wants me to do. Because then when you fear is worrying too, right? But when you have that faith and when you believe, it changes so much. So those are the two things that I would say. That was a long-winded answer, T. Whitley, but hopefully that will help you get over your knowledge and fear to help you get to wherever you're trying to go. And it could just be, it could just be just one goal that you want to achieve. The biggest goal you can think of. And see how you can apply those things that I just talked about. The knowledge and getting over your fear to do it. I think that was great. So if you like what you're hearing, like I said, I'll be tuning in on the 5th and 28th of each month. So I'll be back on the 5th. It'll be Black History Month. And we're talking about Black history and real estate, of course. Two favorite subjects. And I'll be here with you live with some special guests. But I thank you all so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you follow. And if you have any other questions or topics that you would love to hear about, please let me know. So that way, do our best to answer, right? I'll send them to hello@thevongroup.com. I appreciate you all so much for tuning in, for being a part of the community. I love to see so many future hotel owners and investors. It's such a beautiful thing. Thank you again so much for supporting me. So I have the book on social media. And also you can go to vestor.com to learn more about ways of passive opportunities to invest in commercial real estate. My name is Davon Reeves, And you all have an amazing night. Bye bye.